Now, when I proceed to the first news, Health Minister Dr. Daba says focus has been placed on providing medical equipment to expand quality medical services to citizens. The Ministry of Health has handed over medical equipment worth over 4 billion birr to all regional states and city administrations. Daniel Chal explains.
The Ministry of Health has delivered medical equipment worth over 4 billion birr to all regional states and city administrations. Speaking on the event, Minister of Health Dr. Daba says the government has achieved encouraging results in its efforts to improve access to health services. She pointed out that the medical equipment made available to all regions and city administrations through the Ethiopian Medical Supply Service is part of the effort to render quality services. The medical equipment includes digital X-ray machines, surgical equipment, various health screening materials, and laundry machines, the minister explained. In the effort to create additional capacity to modernize and make health services accessible, medical equipment estimated over 4.2 billion birr was distributed to the regional states. Attention will be paid to prioritizing health facilities that have caused a shortage of medical equipment for various reasons, she said. Dr. Abdul Qadir Gilgalo, Director General of the Ethiopian Pharmaceutical Supply Service, for his part said the medical equipment would respond to the supply needs of each regions and city administrations.
Preventive maintenance,
the medical equipment would have a vital role in ensuring equitable access to health services. It is necessary to use them carefully and appropriately so that it can provide the required medical services and benefit the community. The medical equipment, which is supported by digital technology, will enable efficient and quality medical services. Moving on, head of the Oromia Communication Bureau, Hailu Adunya, stresses the importance of developing a culture of dialogue as a crucial solution to the challenges in Ethiopia. The 44th Gumi Balal discussion took place at the office of the President of the Oromia Regional State earlier this morning, gathering scholars from various fields of study. Let us cross live to our reporter Leta Teresa attending the event there in Finfinne. Good to see you, Leta. Tell us more about the issues raised on the event in a nature form. You can proceed, Leta.
Well, Gumi Balal discussion forum has been held at the office of the President of the Oromia Regional State today in the morning, and the discussion theme is about the political disagreement that is affecting Ethiopia in various aspects. In his opening remarks at the event, Hailu Adunya, head of the Oromia Communication Bureau, emphasized that Ethiopia is endowed with rich cultural values that foster peace and stability in the country. And he indicated that the need to harness these good values in order to ensure lasting peace in the country. He also stressed the need to cultivating the culture of dialogue in order to address these challenges in the country. Other scholars who participated in the discussion have also raised that various narratives have contributed to the current challenges and various situations happening in Ethiopia, which has been aggravated by the information spread throughout the social media. And these scholars underscored that regulation must be put in place in order to mitigate the impact of this social media that is affecting the country in various aspects. And generally, the scholars underscored the importance of coming to a negotiating table and discussing on the national issues that is affecting the country in order to reach national consensus and addressing various issues and reach and ensure a lasting peace in Ethiopia.
Our reporter Leta Teresa, thank you very much for your information on the matter and appreciate that. Dear viewers, when I proceed to the next news, the State Minister of Water and Energy, Engineer Sultan Wali, says Ethiopia's successes in building a green economy has made it a good candidate to host the second African Climate Summit. Ethiopia is taking steps to build a green economic development resilient to climate change through its 10-year perspective development plan. With more on that. State Minister of Water and Energy, Sultan Wali, said climate resilient green economy Ethiopia is building is based on reducing the impact of climate change. Sultan said green economy based on renewable energy will help prevent the impact of climate change by reducing greenhouse gas emissions. Ethiopia's success in building a green economy created a fertile ground for the nation to host the second African Climate Summit, according to the State Minister.
Ethiopia, the carbon contribution,
Ethiopia has done tremendous works to reduce green gas emissions, even if its contribution is insignificant in climate change.
He further stated that climate resilient green economy development strategy, which was formulated based on the Paris Agreement of climate change, demonstrates Ethiopia's commitment to combat climate change to enhance its agricultural productivity.
Ethiopia is very committed to implement climate-resilient green economy due to its vulnerability to the adverse effects of climate change. The nation has embarked on the Green Legacy Initiative through planting multi-purpose saplings.
The second Africa Climate Summit will be held in Fimpini early next month under the theme Accelerating Global Climate Solutions, Financing for Africa's Resilient and Green Development. Still moving on, dear viewers, Water and Energy State Minister, Engineer Sultan Wali says Ethiopia has created a better business environment for the private sector in the energy sector and other areas in general by opening up its economy and revising investment policies. Addressing a panel discussion organized by the Ministry of Water and Energy and the International Solar Alliance on Ethiopia's solar energy yesterday, the State Minister said Ethiopia has abundant renewable energy. According to him, the plan is to electrify 65% of the people from the main grid and the remaining from the off-grid technologies.
Ethiopia has actually abundant renewable energy resources, and I can definitely say without having a room for doubt that all renewable energies available in the world are also available in Ethiopia, even though the extent and the locations and the generation might matter.
For the State Minister, transforming the agriculture sector, which plays a significant role in supporting the nation's economy, is essential. He stressed the need to use the abundant ground and surface resources the country has, since shortage of power is the limiting factor to transform the nation's agricultural resources.
There is better environment for the private sector to carry out every kind of development activity in Ethiopia. We opened up our economy mainly to boost our production and to realize the prosperity we set as a country. The good thing is, again, that we have already issued public-private partnership, which of course open a door and create very conducive environment for the private sector to work in close collaboration with the government. Likewise, we have already revised our investment policies, not only in agriculture or energy sector, but also in every sector. Therefore, with these all things, I hope a better environment has been created for the private sector, and I hope in the solarization of Ethiopia, together with ISA, other developed partners and the private sectors will take significant role and engagement in the sector.
For his part, International Solar Alliance Director General Ashish Khanna says Ethiopia has huge renewable energy potential which is still underutilized. He underscored that Ethiopia is already undertaking big economic reforms, noting that the timing is right for the sector is to move ahead at a faster pace.
In spite of a huge potential, this area has been still underutilized. And we are all here because to give it such a big push, now that Ethiopia has already undertaken big economic reforms, the timing is right for this sector to be now moving ahead at a faster pace.
Meanwhile, companies engaged in renewable energy technologies in Ethiopia are keen to expand their environmentally friendly solutions, particularly in off-grid areas, while contributing to global efforts to tackle climate change. In an exclusive interview with Ethiopian news agency, Charlie Hu, country director of Shenzhen Solar Energy Company, said his firm has been operating in Ethiopia for more than 15 years, providing a wide range of solar energy solutions. Hu noted that the company's collaboration with local governments and NGOs to deliver high-capacity solar solutions to communities and revealed plans to increase investment in Ethiopia, aiming to strengthen the country's sustainable solar energy development, introduce more affordable products, and deepen partnerships with the local stakeholders to foster renewable energy growth.
Ethiopia is a very big market and has very big potential, and has over 100 million people here, and most of the people in the rural, they don't have it's off-grid areas, and we based in off-grid areas for the people, and we will provide more sustainable, affordable products here, and to invest more and to work with local people, local partner, local government to do more contribution.
For his part, Yirnagacho Drshat technician team leader at the Mersarat Mabre Solar Import and Installation PLC says his company focuses on delivering solar-powered home systems and water pumps to communities without grid access. He stressed that the company is positioned to make significant contributions to Ethiopia's sustainable energy landscape, addressing both local needs and the global climate goals.
እነኚህ በዋነኝነት እዚህ ጋር የተቀመጡት ሰመርሰብል እና ሰርፌስ ፓምፖች ዲዝል ፓምፕን የሚተኩ ናቸው።
These solar-powered pumps replace diesel-drive pumps that were used by farmers for irrigation. The diesel pumps pollute the environment as they emit high carbon emissions. The solar-powered clean energy technologies are environmentally friendly solutions. The solutions would also play a key role in advancing the country's climate-resilient green economy strategy.
Before it takes place, if you solve the problem, so many destructions will be saved. Loss of property, loss of life, loss of resource, all this can be prevented only when you give solution for conflicts before they take place. Before it takes place, if you solve the problem, so many destructions will be saved. Loss of property, loss of life, loss of resource, all this can be prevented only when you give solution for conflicts before they take place.
This is English News broadcast on OBN Horn of Africa. Dear viewers, still moving on, State Minister of Planning and Development Siyum Mekonnen says the private sector should play a positive role in the efforts of mitigating climate change impacts. The second Africa Climate Summit will be held in Finfinne early next month under that theme, Accelerating Global Climate Solutions, Financing for Africa's Resilient and Green Development. Lata Teresa has more on that.
Ethiopian Disaster Risk Management Commissioner Shifarao Taklamaram said that enhancing the national reserve capacity is a key objective in the effort to ensure food sovereignty. According to him, Ethiopia's impressive productivity across all agricultural sectors is making a significant contribution to boosting the nation's emergency reserve capacity. He noted that a system has been established for regional governments to build their own reserves, enabling them to provide immediate relief to citizens in need. To support the effort, a 3 billion birr fund has been allocated to enhance crop productivity for reserve purposes. The commissioner said the country currently needs a strategic grain reserve of 500,000 metric tons to effectively respond to emergencies. In this first phase of the 2017 production year, the goal is to store 50,000 metric tons of crops.
At the national level, we have to store about 500 metric tons of grains for reserve purpose.
Regional states, based on their agricultural potential, will increase crop production and transfer a portion of it to the Commission for the National Reserve. Shifarao explained that this approach of sourcing grain for the reserve plays a crucial role in stabilizing the market and creating opportunities for increased production, thereby boosting overall productivity. A national coordinating committee has been formed to oversee this initiative and provide financial support for regions facing shortages.
Responsible to collect a strategic grain reserve, getting the regions to engage in producing additional products and provide for us with affordable price, instead of our engagement in the market, which is as it may cause market instability.
South Ethiopia Region Disaster Risk Management Commissioner Ganta Gamaa stated that the region's approved Disaster Risk Reserve Fund regulation has created an opportunity to build its capacity for resource mobilization and emergency response. As an example, he cited that last Ethiopian year, the region secured over 22,600 quintals of grain for emergency response. To build on that success, the region has not only set aside a 1 billion birr reserve fund this year, but has also cultivated 6,300 hectares of land to increase food grain storage.
So far, we've been able to store more than 22,600 quintals of grains for emergency response. This year, we've planned to collect over 1 billion birr in emergency response and for the rehabilitation purpose.
Dear viewers, we apologize for the problem happened, and let me remind you the lead story for the news already aired. The Ethiopian Disaster Risk Management Commission Commissioner Shifarao Teklemariam says the Commission has set a target to add 50,000 metric tons of agricultural produce to the country's emergency reserve during the current Ethiopian May rainy season. And when I proceed to the next news, State Minister of Planning and Development Siyum Mekonnen says the private sector should play a positive role in the efforts of mitigating climate change impacts. The second Africa Climate Summit will be held in Finland early next month under the theme Accelerating Global Climate Solutions, Financing for Africa's Resilient and Green Development. Leta Teresa.
Planning and Development State Minister Siyum Mekonnen stressed that the private sector, including financial institutions, is a major actor in accelerating global climate solutions, and it is impossible to achieve a climate-resilient economy without the involvement of the private sector, he noted, adding that it is also a victim of climate change impacts. Siyum therefore urged the private sector to actively participate in the summit by generating ideas, showcasing their climate-adaptive solutions and financially.
Private sector can be part of a solution. Additionally, it is a sector that can bring several innovative solutions. In this regard, the sector is expected to make active participation. The sector is also highly expected to discharge its responsibility in addressing challenges. More than ever, the private sector needs to actively engage, particularly in the climate mitigation efforts.
Speaking at the half-day panel discussion today, he briefed the representatives of the private sector and financial institutions on how they can participate in the summit Ethiopia will be hosting in partnership with the African Union. The state minister emphasized the concrete steps Ethiopia has been taking to combat climate change, adding that the country will present its best practices and the measures it has taken to combat climate change impacts. Siyum described the summit as a major gathering where decisions will be made to prevent and cope with climate change, which is a challenge for humanity. Moreover, the summit will be a place where many solutions will be proposed to mitigate the impact of climate change and where continental capacity will be created to address climate change. The second Africa Climate Summit under the theme Accelerating Global Climate Solutions, Financing for Africa's Resilient and Green Development is expected to be a platform for Africans to not only make their voices heard but also to show the world that they are at the forefront of climate change solutions.
Through strengthening the response and consolidating operations, we are about to transform to the situation, enabling us to give response in a better manner.
Finally, to the news from Nigeria. With the quest for a better life driving millions of Nigerians to Lagos, some in the city are finding ways to manage the pollution. Recent years have seen a rise to private waste managers and sustainability groups helping